Et normalement, Youpi. Bon, je suis quand même pas vachement familière avec l'interface. Typiquement, je sais pas s'il y a des gens ou pas sur le stream. Mais bon, on va voir. Est-ce que niveau son, toi, Héro, ça te semble bien comme ça ou pas? C'est peut-être un peu fort. On va l'avoir en full screen. Ok. Je sais vraiment pas du tout à quoi m'attendre et c'est terrible. Contrôle, a priori, ça peut jouer à la... Enfin, ça joue au clavier, donc... Bah, on va tenter comme ça, hein. Oui, bah le but c'est que ce soit par rapport à ma voix, ce soit pas par rapport au jeu. Le héros et la princesse, chapitre 1.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Ah, il y a une VF? Attends, s'il y a une VF, je veux. Bah, sur Steam, il y avait marqué qu'il n'y avait pas de VF. Mais je savais même pas qu'il y avait une voix dans le jeu, donc je m'attendais à traduire sur le tas. Merde, j'aurais peut-être pas dû faire ça. Parce que là... On évite de skip quoi que ce soit. Les textes avancent pas tout seuls, donc ça permettra de traduire s'il y a besoin. Non, je pense pas, hein. Accessibilité peut-être? Non, clairement pas. Non, il n'y a pas de VF, hein. Du coup, on recommence.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
On est dans les bois, il y a un chemin. Oh, c'est stylé quand on bouge, la map bouge un peu. Au bout de ce chemin, il y a une cabane, et dans le sous-sol de cette cabane, il y a une princesse. Que fait une princesse dans un sous-sol? C'est une bonne question.
You're here to slay her.
Quoi?
If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
On est là pour la tuer. Sinon, ce sera la fin du monde. Ok. Ok, et là j'ai tous mes choix à droite. Oh, j'en ai beaucoup. Waouh. Ok. La fin du monde, comment ça? Est-ce que tu as déjà considéré que peut-être la seule raison pour laquelle elle allait mettre fin au monde, c'est parce qu'elle est fermée? Tuer la princesse, ça semble un peu méchant quand même. Un peu mauvais. Est-ce qu'il n'y a pas quelqu'un d'autre pour le faire? Nope, je fais pas. Putain, mais il y a un nombre de choix. Peut-être que ça me va que le monde finisse. Est-ce que j'ai des récompenses pour le faire? Ou je peux juste dire ok, merci. Ou yes, j'ai toujours voulu tuer comment tu dis, quelqu'un de la royauté. Vive la révolution. On va commencer basique, hein. De quoi qu'il parle?
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her.
Donc il m'explique ce qu'est une fin du monde. Oui, je sais. Non, ça va pas m'aider. What the fuck? On va continuer simple, hein. Pourquoi le fait qu'une princesse soit enfermé dans un sous-sol pourrait
Don't
faire fin au monde, quoi.
linger on the specifics. You have a job to do here. Just get in there and do what needs to be done. We're all counting on you.
Bah non. Vous me dites pas poser de questions, mais non, je vais pas buter comme ça une princesse sortie de nulle part juste parce qu'une voix dans ma... D'ailleurs, pourquoi j'entends une voix? Ah, on va lui demander qui il est. Bon, est-ce qu'il a des preuves pour ce qu'il affirme?
Look, you're already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far, you might as well reach the end of your journey.
C'est le narrateur, d'accord, mais je discute avec le narrateur. Ou... Enfin... Bon, je vais aller dans la cabine, parler à la princesse, et peut-être, suivant ce qu'elle me dit, on verra ce que je ferai. Mais genre, enfin... C'est un peu sorti de nulle part, là, dit
Then
comme
I guess
ça.
we'll just have to see what happens. But, a word of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out.
Faut que je me méfie parce qu'elle peut me retourner le cerveau.
Then each and every one of us is doomed. So sure, go, talk to her. See how that turns out for all of us.
C'est ce que je vais faire, donc on va aller lui parler.
You
Même
make
si
your
le
way up
narrateur
the
est pas
short path to the cabin.
convaincu.
You'll find the princess within.
Ok. Donc la fameuse cabane.
We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
J'ai une voix intérieure. Et je suis d'accord avec ma voix intérieure.
Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
J'ai une voix intérieure et le narrateur me dit d'ignorer ma voix intérieure. Enfin, je suis le héros. Non? What?
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade.
Je sais pas, Kéro. Je suis pas sûre de moi-même. Par contre, je viens de penser que peut-être qu'il faut au moins que je prévienne la personne qui m'a offert ce jeu. Je suis en stream. Voilà, maintenant que c'est fait. Ok, donc il y a une petite...
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Je suis venue jusqu'ici sans lame, sans épée, sans rien, alors que je suis censée buter quelqu'un. Louche. En même temps, si elle est dangereuse... Salut Isran. Mais en même temps, si elle est dangereuse, c'est mieux que j'ai une arme avec moi. Mais en même temps, ça pourrait être mal pris.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
Mais je veux pas forcément la tuer. Qui? Pourquoi? Sortie d'où? Bref, du coup j'ai un narrateur qui me parle et qui me dit que je suis là pour buter une princesse qui veut pas m'expliquer pourquoi, si ce n'est que si je la bute pas, c'est la fin du monde.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
Bah.
Her voice carries up the stairs.
Ah.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
J'aurais dit badass, c'est pas dangereuse, mais en même temps, si elle sait que quelqu'un est venu vient la tuer.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Plutôt d'accord. Je suis pas sûre que lui dire hey, je crois que je suis là pour te tuer soit un bon moyen de commencer une conversation. Du coup, on va commencer par bonjour.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
Pourquoi elle a pas l'air étonnée de me voir?
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
En général, quand il y a deux chaînes comme ça, genre pas les deux qui sont attachés à la même personne. Celle-là, elle a l'air un peu courte.
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
J'ai une voix dans ma tête qui me dit de le faire, mais elle a l'air un peu au courant, donc je vais pas juste dire que je suis là pour parler. Mais peut-être que j'ai pas encore décidé.
How about you drop the knife and the two of us just talk?
Look how reasonable she's being. We should just drop the blade and talk things out. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. Killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
Bah, j'aurais tendance à écouter la voix dans ma tête aussi. Déjà parce que si elle est enfermée ici et qu'elle a pas essayé de partir, normalement, je suis censée être safe. Donc, j'aurais plus tendance à essayer de discuter d'abord. Surtout que personne m'a donné d'explication.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you.
Je vais être honnête, j'ai très peur que là, si je clique, elle me saute à la gorge et elle me bute.
Against your better judgment,
Ah.
you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed.
J'aurais peut-être pas avancé autant, personnellement.
We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
Oui. Alors on peut soit aller directement un peu sur le sujet de la fin du monde, soit commencer un peu la discussion ou juste dire ouais c'est un peu étrange. Non, on n'a pas parlé assez. Ouais, si c'est...
I know. I just said that. Now why are you here to kill me?
J'ai pas dit que j'étais là pour la tuer. Je lui retourner la question, c'est bizarre, non? Juste, bah, t'es supposé mettre fin au monde.
Don't just tell her that.
Ah. Je vais me faire engueuler.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think.
Elle a une manière de parler.
I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Just how long has she been down here?
J'avoue qu'elle a une voix, enfin une manière de parler qui fait pas très innocent.
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so... dangerous?
Ceci dit, si elle est enfermée depuis très longtemps, je pense qu'elle a eu le temps de bien penser à une vengeance, hein. Il n'y a pas que ça comme question, mais oui, effectivement, comment elle se nourrit, comment elle boit, comment elle va au petit coin, parce que là, ça, elle a pas l'air de tant puer que ça. Est-ce qu'elle a de la vie souvent? Mais apparemment non, vu qu'elle a dit que ça faisait longtemps qu'elle avait vu personne. Et bref, qu'est-ce qu'elle va faire si jamais on la laisse sortir d'ici?
Princess hesitates before responding. She doesn't know. She's been down here too long to have any idea of what she'd do in another life.
Ah mais... désolé. Je viens de me rendre compte que genre le chat pour moi est coupé. C'est-à-dire qu'il me manque genre... tout petit bout du chat. Ça fait que j'arrive pas bien à lire. C'est un peu relou. Je sais pas si je peux enlever des trucs qui me permettraient de... Pas l'impression. Oh, tant pis. A priori, elle est là depuis vraiment
She
longtemps.
knows what she'd do. She's just searching for whatever answer she thinks you want to hear.
I don't think I can answer that question in a way you'd find meaningful. At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. That doesn't sound right to me. And I don't think it sounds right to you either. Otherwise, we'd be killing each other instead of talking.
Oui, c'est vrai, mais...
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason you've listened.
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear. But you don't really know me, do you? What can my word possibly be worth in a situation like this?
She's right about one thing. Her word isn't worth anything.
Like I said, it's all about trust. Blind trust.
Ouais, Isran, en fait, j'ai la voix du narrateur et la voix du héros. J'ai supposé que j'étais le héros. Peut-être pas. coup, j'ai supposé que la voix du héros était la voix dans ma tête. Et le narrateur était... Je sais pas pourquoi je peux parler au narrateur. Mais elle est louche, par contre.
So do you trust me, the prisoner, the victim, the princess clearly incapable of ending the world? Or do you trust whoever put me here?
She's wrong. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch no less.
Et j'ai deux voix dans ma tête qui se contredisent. L'une qui veut que je la tue sans me donner aucune raison. À part que elle peut peut-être mettre fin au monde, mais alors pourquoi, comment, on sait pas. Et l'autre qui est là en mode... Bah c'est... Enfin... Pourquoi on tuerait quelqu'un sans preuve? Et la princesse qui ne m'aide clairement pas, qui plutôt qu'être une gentille princesse honnête et qui a des petits rêves, voilà, tout mignons et tout, va pas me donner plus de réponses. Youpi. Ok, on va recommencer, on va lui demander son nom. Déjà, peut-être que si on connaît son nom...
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as your Royal Highness, or Her
Pardon.
Majesty.
J'ai tapé, c'est pas
Any
bien.
honorific should do, really.
Je t'ai demandé ton nom, pas genre ton titre.
Again, she offers no specifics. No matter how hard you try, you'll never get a straight answer out of her.
Mais c'est terrible, elle m'aide pas en fait. Ouais, depuis combien de temps elle est là? Trop longtemps, forcément. Bon, et imaginons, je veuille la faire sortir de là. Et je veux sauver la princesse. Comment je m'y prends?
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't... Well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting, right? She is. I'm sure of it.
Mais comment quelqu'un qui serait capable de détruire le monde pourrait être juste coincé par une chaîne?
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
Pas du tout.
You know why you're here.
Pour l'instant, je vais la laisser enfermée. Hein. Évidemment, Isra ne te gêne pas. Mais pour l'instant, je vais la laisser enfermée. C'est juste trop vague. Et puis peut-être qu'on en apprendra plus.
That seems like a pretty good compromise.
Ah, le héros est d'accord avec moi. Par la voix du héros.
Leaving her alive is too risky. If you don't deal with her soon, she will find a way out.
Mais si elle pouvait trouver un moyen de sortir, elle l'aurait fait depuis longtemps, vu qu'elle est là depuis trop longtemps.
One way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. You can make it easier for both of us if you help.
Elle nous menace, là.
And if you don't, I can promise that you'll come to regret that decision.
You have to make a choice. Let's hope for all our sakes it's the right one.
Ok. Bon, du coup, la question, Kiro. On team up avec le démon ou on essaye de tuer le démon? Parce que si on se foire d'une manière ou d'une autre et qu'il se retourne contre nous, on est dans la merde. Si on essaye de team up, à tout moment il se retourne contre nous parce que c'est un démon et on est dans la merde. Non, parce que là... J'espère qu'elle connaît pas les arts martiaux, elle va pas retourner le couteau contre nous. Hein. Mais franchement, elle a l'air beaucoup trop dangereuse. La manière dont elle parle, c'est pas quelqu'un d'innocent qui parle comme ça. Allez, on va tuer la princesse. De toute façon, c'est le nom du jeu, ça peut pas être mauvais.
You charge the princess, blade trembling in your hand, but you've already lost the battle.
C'était sûr. Elle va nous fumer.
She casually sidesteps your thrust before knocking you to the ground with a single blow from her elbow.
On est dans la merde. Ah, une meuf en colère, ça va forcément se venger.
We shouldn't have hesitated.
But she doesn't stop there. She kicks you a few times for good measure, the pointed tip of her shoes feeling like a pickaxe against your fracturing bones, making sure you stay down.
Bah écoutez, voilà, fin du jeu, on est mort. Par contre, juste avant, on en parle de notre main. On n'est pas humain en vrai. Ah. La main là, elle est toute griffue, il y a peut-être des écailles ou des plaques. C'est peut-être nous le démon en fait.
As you lie, crushed and broken on the basement floor, the princess kneels on your throat with the kind of weight you didn't think her slight frame could possibly possess. As you gasp for air, she eyes you with an intense curiosity. You shouldn't have let that fear creep into your heart. You had the upper hand, and now look at you.
Is this really the best you could do? Look at you. Completely broken. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little disappointed.
She applies more pressure, slowly squeezing what's left of your life out of your lungs.
Mais elle est horrible. Elle nous tue mais petit à petit en plus.
This is the end, isn't it?
Je crois que c'est la fin.
I'm
Hein.
afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Alors, je vais juste nous laisser sur cette magnifique petite phrase le temps de régler mon problème de chat. Voilà. Hop. Elle a l'air très dangereuse. Enfin, en fait, je sais pas si elle est dangereuse en soi. Désolée, je lisais en plus ce que t'écrivais avant. Mais je sais pas si elle est dangereuse en soi ou si... En fait, notre main, je sais pas comment dire, mais ça fait pas humain. Ça fait pas gentil, presque. Et si elle est enfermée par des méchants depuis longtemps, c'est un peu normal qu'elle veuille s'enfuir à... Genre... bah, les ongles, les espèces d'écailles ou de plaques. Et il y avait comme des plumes ou des poils un peu plus haut. Mais ça ressemblait pas à un vêtement, en fait. Regardez ça. Ah! Visiblement, mourir, c'est normal.
You're on a path
Quoi?
in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Alors, pour ceux qui n'étaient pas là au tout début, ça c'est la première phrase.
You're here to slay her. If you don't,
On a recommencé, mais on est quand même au chapitre 2. Pardon. J'ai quand même une impression de déjà vu.
a terrible sense of déjà vu. No, you don't have that. This is the first time either of us have been here.
Ah non, non, c'est pas la première fois qu'on est là
If he
tous les
doesn't
deux.
remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me.
Effectivement, on est loin d'une fin du monde juste... comment dire? Alors pour des raisons un peu comme la guerre de Troie, quoi. Elle m'a l'air quand même... Je sais pas si c'est elle ou si c'est nous, en fait.
What does it matter what he knows? There's nothing we can do to stop her. She's just going to kill us again.
Ah, ça peut marcher, ouais.
She is not going to kill you unless you let her. But slaying the princess and saving the world is going to be much more difficult than it has to be if you spend the whole time second-guessing yourself.
Bah oui, en fait. Alors, ce qui est marrant, c'est que le narrateur s'en souvient pas, mais le héros, oui. Enfin, la voix du héros, oui.
It hasn't. Or if it has, I certainly haven't been a part of it. We've just met for the first time, you and I. Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me.
Il a l'air quand même très... comment dire? Genre, le narrateur a l'air sincère, pour le coup.
You died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. Of course we died. We couldn't land a single blow on her, and she broke every bone in our body before she decided to let us die.
Est-ce qu'à chaque fois qu'on meurt, on a une nouvelle voix dans notre tête? Mais du coup, la voix du héros, ça devrait signifier que le héros est mort aussi, non?
What were we supposed to do to stop her then? What are we supposed to do to stop her now? It's pointless. She's just a princess. Slaying her shouldn't have been difficult, but congratulations. You've been given another chance to actually do this right. And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. The princess killed us and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me.
Bah, il y a quand même une conséquence, il y a une voix de plus dans notre tête. Mais c'est vrai que sur le monde en lui-même, il n'y a pas l'air d'y avoir eu de changement. C'est la même forêt, le même décor, les mêmes arbres.
Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely?
Oui, le chapitre est pas le même. Mais le narrateur a un bon point. Est-ce qu'on est dans le même monde? Après, le narrateur parlait quand même d'une cabine et pas d'une tour.
If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would? If she ended the entire world, why should we even bother? We might as well just walk up to that cabin, break her chains and let her do whatever she wants. It's all the same in the end.
On a un dépressif dans la tête là?
Just because she's capable of ending the world doesn't mean you're not capable of slaying her. Both of those things can be true at the same time. So chin up. I believe in you.
J'ai quand même envie qu'il nous en parle
Just
plus,
be
le
quick about
narrateur.
it.
Il sait des choses. Donc, elle nous a tués la dernière fois. Ça, on le sait. Donc, il y a eu une fois, elle nous a tués. Et on est retour à la case départ. On a essayé de la poignarder. Elle s'y attendait. Et on peut supposer que parce qu'elle s'y attendait, elle a réussi à nous bloquer. Ou que, quelle que soit la manière dont on essaie de la poignarder, elle va nous bloquer et nous battre à mort. Et du coup, une bonne question, c'est si elle est censée être juste une princesse, pourquoi elle est capable, genre, de nous tabasser à ce point-là.
She is just a princess. Whatever you think happened to you last time, just get it out of your head before you get to the cabin and you'll be fine.
Et le narrateur, il fait pas d'effort aussi.
Or we could pledge ourselves to her and stop pretending that we're capable of doing anything in this situation. She probably doesn't even need to try to overpower us. Can we tone down the pessimism just a smidge? I'm not being a pessimist. I'm just being realistic. You're being annoying. Just ignore their bickering, and whatever you do, don't pledge yourself to her. I cannot stress enough how absolutely catastrophic that would be for everyone, yourself included.
Je suis pas sûre, hein. J'ai presque envie de la libérer et genre être là en mode non mais tranquille, je suis gentil, me tabasse pas, pitié, sois sympa avec moi. Qui l'a enfermée? Ouais, c'est une bonne question.
People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things.
Mais des gens, c'est qui? Pourquoi ces gens l'ont pas tué? C'est vrai que si elle se souvient, on est dans la merde. Bah voilà, si des gens l'ont enfermé, pourquoi ils l'ont pas tué? Bah voilà, mais j'aime bien quand le personnage y pense comme moi, l'inverse.
I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special. You're the only person capable of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps, but it's just the way things are. Oh, I didn't know we were special. Of course you're special. Why else would you be here?
Ah, on peut revoir tous les dialogues. Depuis le début. Oh waouh. Ah, on va save, parce que ça coûte rien, on sait jamais. Vous save manuellement, c'est bien à savoir aussi. Donc on est spécial, mais qui est... Enfin, une prophétie, mais une prophétie de
Who cares
quoi?
if you think we're special? As far as I can tell, the only thing special about us is that we get to experience painfully dying all over again.
Si, le narrateur entendait déjà le héros, et du coup il disait non mais ne l'écoute pas, et des choses comme ça. Ouais, mais j'aimerais bien que le narrateur il nous donne des
Told you
réponses, quoi.
everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult.
Non, ce serait plus simple, monsieur le narrateur, de m'expliquer, de me donner des détails, de quelque chose. Pitié.
The less you know about her, the better.
Non. Bon. Du coup, est-ce qu'il a un moyen de faire en sorte qu'on se fasse pas retuer?
Like I said, if she killed you, it was probably because you didn't listen to me. Don't talk to her, don't trust her, just go in, do your job, and save the world. Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin. A warning before you go any further.
C'est toujours une cabine, c'est pas une tour.
She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. Lying? Cheating? Why would she even bother? She didn't need to do anything like that last time. She caught us off guard last time. We'll be fine. Let's just keep our wits about us.
Le problème, c'est que si elle se souvient et qu'on l'attaque pas direct, on perd l'effet de surprise et on va se reprendre une branlée.
At least one of you still has a shred of sense. Just make sure you listen to him and not that whiner.
Et en même temps, si on l'attaque par surprise et que ça se passe de nouveau mal, on pourra toujours tenter une troisième fois.
If that's what you want, I guess I don't have a say here.
Ceci dit, je pense que pour se faire pardonner, vaut mieux l'avoir tué qu'une fois et pas deux.
The interior of the cabin is larger and more grandiose than its humble exterior would suggest. The only furniture of note is a massive marble altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge.
C'est plus le même
The
intérieur.
blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. Why do we feel so small? We don't feel small. We are small.
C'est vrai qu'il y a un miroir. On pourrait revoir à quoi on ressemble.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here.
Attendez, le narrateur, il voit pas ce qu'on voit?
What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
On voit des trucs que le narrateur voit pas et on a vraiment une main de monstre.
We should count ourselves lucky. Some things are better left unseen. Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess.
Même la musique, what the
You
fuck.
take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a spiral staircase. Its steps almost as deep as you are tall. The smell of incense drifts up from below. For a moment, you almost feel at ease. Huh. This is actually kind of nice. It's still a stone basement.
If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
Non, mais moi je suis désolée, Héro, je pense que je vais team up avec
Her
la princesse.
booming
Hein.
voice rolls up the stairs.
Is that a guest I hear? Don't linger on the stairs. Come down and witness me.
Sa voix, elle a
You
changé.
weren't kidding when you said it was booming. She wasn't like this last time.
We need to get down there. She wants us to see her. We need to see her.
Should we be worried about your sudden change in attitude? Just a few minutes ago you were going on about how pointless everything was. Now you want to go down there.
It doesn't matter what that little voice says. He's not the one making the decisions.
Though if his ramblings get you to the princess, they get you to the princess.
Making your way down the spiral staircase is a time-consuming and exhausting effort, every step requiring you to clamber over one edge before dropping to the next. But soon the end comes into view, and you tumble to the bottom, entering the vast, temple-like room beyond.
Ah. Je reste persuadée qu'il vaut mieux team up avec le démon, mais
The princess towers over you, almost
the
glowing in the
fuck?
weak starlight, her figure framed by a stained glass window. Her long hair billows around her, and a chain binds her wrist to the far wall.
elle a level up, hein.
The chain is nothing to her. It might as well be a toy for all the good it would do. I told you it was pointless to resist her.
The little bird has returned to me. I wonder
Oh
what he wants.
merde, elle se souvient. Effectivement, la deuxième fait encore plus courte qu'avant.
You brought that knife again, even though you know it's useless. Such charming audacity.
Ah, elle se souvient.
Drop it.
n'a plus l'effet de surprise. Et objectivement, elle a l'air plus puissante qu'avant. Moi, je m'agenouille et je demande pardon, hein.
The blade slips from your fingers and clatters uselessly to the floor.
De toute façon, on n'a pas l'effet de surprise.
We didn't have to do that, and yet you did. She's so much more than us. You wouldn't understand what it feels like to be in her presence. Oh, I understand what's going on, and you'd better snap yourself out of it.
Kneel.
Oui, madame.
On her command, you fall to the floor, knees painfully connecting with hard stone.
Moi, c'est bon, je veux la vie sauve, hein.
That's my good little bird. Now, why don't we talk? The last time we met, you told me I was destined to end the world. That thought wrapped itself around my heart. It has pulled at me since the moment I squeezed the life out of your broken lungs.
Oh, merde.
I could feel its fundamental truth awaken me. The collapse of the old is a necessary prelude to the birth of the new. And the world as it is now is overdue for alterations.
Oh, merde. On aurait peut-être dû la libérer direct, hein.
It's time for me to seize my destiny. And you, little bird, will help me seize it.
Well, that gives away the game, doesn't it?
What?
It certainly does. And beyond that, it more than lends credence to our conversation in the woods. I don't love the thought that in some other reality you failed to destroy her, but what's done is done. I can only hope it helped you learn a valuable lesson. You are the only one who can deal with her. And if you don't, well, she's let you know what will happen, hasn't she?
C'est vrai qu'elle a admis qu'elle allait détruire le monde, cette fois. Mais maintenant, elle vole. Si j'ai pas gagné contre elle la première fois, à quel moment je gagne contre elle la deuxième? Moi, j'ai pas eu de power-up, hein.
And you shouldn't have trusted us with her destruction. She is inevitable. Can't you feel it? He's being melodramatic, but he's not exactly wrong, is he? What are we supposed to do to stop her?
Peut-être qu'on peut la raisonner, dire qu'il y a du bien, qu'on est désolé, on voulait pas faire ça.
Okay. First things first, you're going to have to stuff those pessimistic thoughts someplace far, far away and commit yourself to what needs to be done. The stakes of the situation should be perfectly clear to everyone now. If you're going to save the world, you have to have faith that you can pull this off. You can't win a battle that you've already lost in your mind.
J'hésite entre lui dire que c'est pas parce qu'elle est supposée détruire le monde qu'elle est obligée de le faire, ou de lui demander ce qui s'est passé après que je sois mort, parce que visiblement, elle en a le souvenir. Et que je me dis, si on remeurt, ça pourrait peut-être nous donner des indices sur comment s'en sortir, ou pas. Je vais lui demander ce qui s'est passé après que je sois mort. C'est de la raisonner? Non, je vais demander d'abord.
Know the limits of your privilege, little bird. There's an empty place at my side for you to fill, if you'll have it. But it is not a place for an equal. It is a place for something worthy to be kept. A priest, perhaps, or a pet.
Oui, madame. D'accord, madame. Désolée, madame. J'ai peur qu'elle s'énerve encore plus, mais... C'est une princesse, elle est censée être gentille et péter des paillettes. Du coup, elle est pas obligée de faire ça?
This isn't about desire. This is about what I am. And I have little interest in discussing destiny with one that cannot see the divine truth that shines in my heart.
Après, en vrai, si on devient son pet, peut-être qu'on peut regagner l'effet de surprise. En vrai de vrai. Vas-y, moi, je... De toute façon, il n'y a pas l'option... Enfin, si, il y a l'option, voilà, mais ça veut dire on va mourir, donc.
Your will was so easily broken. Am I that magnificent?
Un peu.
All you need to do now is break my chains.
En même temps, si elle est retenue par des chaînes, je pourrais juste me barrer, hein.
If this is what you want, then I guess there's not much else for me to say.
Ah, de toute façon, on aurait dû faire ça au début.
No, you can't just give in to her, not when the stakes are so high, not when you're so close. I won't let you do this.
Et t'es le narrateur, tu peux rien faire.
There's still something in the way. A greasy film inside of you where it doesn't belong. Trying to conceal you from me.
Elle sait pour le narrateur?
Is that a person? No, it used to be a person. It's something different now. An echo.
Is she talking about you? That's impossible. She's not supposed to be able to interact with me.
You're a small one, aren't you? A shriveling little worm stretched beyond its limits, trying to control things that it can't understand.
No. What are you talking about?
I don't care what you are. You're mine.
Je crois qu'on a énervé un démon supérieur. Oh oh.
Rise, my little bird.
Without hesitation, you're brought to your feet.
What the?
Break my chains.
And how are we supposed to do that? All we have is a blade. All you need to do is believe it's been done.
Comment ça?
You poor, wretched little thing. You already do believe. You've always believed. All you have to do is open the last door to your heart.
Après, si on est capable de briser des chaînes juste parce qu'on le veut, on pourrait être capable de la tuer. Ouais.
It's easy. And once you let her in, you'll be safe and free forever. Please don't do this.
Si, moi j'ai déjà dit que je m'écrasais, donc je m'écrase.
Her chains shatter, and the cuff falls from her wrist. She is loose, and the end is upon us.
What a good disciple you are. Come, it's time for us to leave.
Peut-être que je vais pas mourir. What the... Quoi? Mais tu ne prends pas sa main? Quelque chose... Enfin, l'a emporté et a laissé quelque chose d'autre à sa place.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
Ah oui, on n'a plus le narrateur.
He is. Does that mean the figures the world would end
Pardon, j'ai
and
passé
leave
à
us
vous.
with all this nothing? I'm begging you, don't do this.
Pourquoi le héros veut pas qu'on approche le miroir?
It's different now. It feels, I don't know, final. I don't want to look at us.
Bah il faut les gars, enfin... Ouais, on approche.
This doesn't feel right. It feels different. Final. I don't want to look at us.
Moi j'ai envie de savoir à quoi on ressemble. Les voix semblent faibles et distantes à mesure qu'on approche. Salut Kagebushi. Ils sont partis mais le miroir est toujours là. Et c'est l'heure pour nous de voir ce qu'il y a. What the... Non mais attendez, c'est nous le monstre là, on est... Enfin... On a une tête de monstre. Je te résume si tu veux, Kagi, après. On est seul dans un endroit qui est vide et qui est silencieux. Comment ça? Aussi de cabine. Oh. On est à la cabine. On va l'approcher, hein?
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
Est-ce que quoi? What? Qu'est-ce que... Enfin, qu'est-ce qu'elle est? Qu'est-ce que...
I am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you?
Je sais pas.
I think that you are like me. We are oceans, reduced to shallow creeks.
Donc pour information, on avait le narrateur qui nous disait du coup de tuer la princesse. On allait discuter avec elle, elle était grave flippante, on a essayé de la tuer, elle nous a bolos. On a Harry Pop. Elle avait power up de fou. Du coup, on a décidé de devenir un chien-chien. Et maintenant ça. Est-ce que c'est la fin du monde?
How can the world have ended if we are talking?
Je sais pas. Est-ce que c'est elle qui nous a envoyé tuer la princesse? Mais ça paraît bizarre.
I have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here, and I too yearn to be free.
Ok. Donc c'est pas elle. Est-ce qu'on se connaît?
You are familiar, but you are not me. I feel sadness, longing, hope as I witness you.
Yeah. Est-ce qu'elle sait sur le monde?
I know only that they are.
Et du coup, cette histoire de
Yes.
Non, je sais plus comment dire.
Nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond. Perspectives to make my own. This one is dominance, a figure capable of bending everything to her will. She will make for a terrifying and divine heart. Do not mourn her, for she would not be able to mourn you.
Est-ce qu'elle est la vraie princesse? Ça se trouve, la princesse est possédée, mais non,
She
c'est pas...
is part of me, and part of me is her.
Elle a toujours été la princesse ou est-ce qu'elle... Elle a fait de la princesse une part
You
d'elle-même?
speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends?
Si, c'est important de savoir qui de l'œuf ou la poule était là en premier. Je sais pas si j'ai envie qu'elle la laisse sortir en fait. Qu'est-ce qui se passe maintenant?
Nothing, as we are. But I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom.
Et si je... Si j'arrive à la tuer, elle a pas peur?
I have not lived. I am not afraid to die.
Combien j'ai besoin de trouver de parties différentes, de perspectives comme elle le disait?
More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. The rest will find their own way home.
C'est pas rassurant, ça. Parce que si je l'aide, peut-être que la princesse détruira plus le monde.
You ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape, to remold.
Qu'elle va faire si je l'aide?
How can I know? I am flickers in something sprawling and unilluminated.
Bon, et combien j'oublierai?
Everything, until we meet again.
Et si jamais je la laisse pas faire?
Then we will be here forever, as we are now. Unfinished, dry, hollow.
Bah pas ouf, hein, de rester là et tout. Mais par contre, je sais pas trop comment je peux trouver d'autres parties d'elle. Enfin, genre... Et on va dire go oublier, hein.
She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
Quoi? Elle avait une voix un peu délicate et tout, je la pensais un peu sympa. Bon bah on est mort. Une deuxième fois, du coup. Quoi?
You're on a path in the woods,
Attendez,
and at the
Quoi?
end of that path is a cabin,
on vient de recommencer au
and
chapitre
in the
1
basement
du
of
coup.
that cabin is a princess.
oui, c'est vrai, j'ai tout oublié, mais... Salut Erdog. On a fait chapitre 1, chapitre 2, et là on est de retour au chapitre 1. Bah du coup, tant qu'elle a pas power up, je serais plutôt pour l'aider.
You're here to slay her.
Peut-être une
If
idée
you
de con,
don't,
hein.
it will be the end of the world.
Mais peut-être que comme ça, elle nous aura un peu plus à la bonne. Ah, on peut... Ah, avec Tab, on peut skip les dialogues précédents. Ok. Vas-y, je vais continuer. Je vais pas parler au narrateur. Je vais l'ignorer, ce narrateur.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within.
We're not going to go through with this, right?
She's a princess.
Ah oui,
We're
même
supposed
le
to
héros, du
save
coup, a tout
princesses,
oublié.
not slay them.
Oui, vu qu'on est le... Enfin, je sais pas si
Ignore
on est le
him.
héros.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. The interior of the
Ouais, on est
cabin
bien
is almost entirely
retourné à la
bare.
cabine
The
normale.
air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Non, moi je vais être sympa.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice softly carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
C'est pas la même voix qu'avant. Avant, on aurait dit une ensorceleuse. Là, on dirait une princesse en détresse.
It's hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
Je veux dire que je suis là pour la sauver ou mentir en disant que je suis là pour la sauver.
How many times do I have to tell you how dangerous letting her out of here would be before it finally sinks in?
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down here forever. Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone?
Je pense qu'elle semble moins dangereuse que le coup d'avant. Mais avec sa petite voix là.
I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Ah, ma théorie, c'est que vu qu'on l'a tuée, qu'on lui a dit pour la fin du monde et tout, elle est devenue méchante. Du coup, si on lui dit rien et juste on la libère, ça se trouve, en fait elle est gentille. Qu'elle a pas eu le temps de devenir méchante.
Hi. I can't believe you're here. I've been waiting for something like this to happen forever. I hope you brought something to deal with these chains.
Don't do it. If she gets out of those chains, we're all one step closer to the end.
You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're making a huge mistake.
Elle a des grands yeux.
No, you're doing the right thing.
Voilà le héros, c'est bien.
You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
Et pourtant j'ai réussi tout à l'heure.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Maybe there's some way to break the chains?
Non mais elle a l'air toute innocente et tout là, c'est pas la même personne.
Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
Elle a les mêmes pensées.
She offers the suggestion with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free.
Ou alors sa petite voix c'est que du fake. Mais pourquoi elle l'aurait pas faké la première fois? Parce que j'avais pris le couteau. Et comment elle aurait pu le savoir?
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place.
What?
Is someone else here?
Mais il y avait...
You
What?
try the door, but it's locked from the outside. Your shouts and pleas are met with silence.
Et c'est peut-être ça, ils ont... Il y a peut-être plusieurs voix dans sa tête, mais il y a... Mais qui a fermé la
You're here
porte?
to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to.
Mais non, mais je vais pas la tuer.
Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
Je suppose.
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
Comment?
She barely
what
hesitates
the
before
fuck?
raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf.
Mais elle est tarée?
As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now.
Elle est complètement malade. Mais si je la tue, ça va rendre les... Enfin, si j'essaye de la tuer, elle va me bouffer vivant, en fait.
Or we could use it to free her.
Ouais, au moins,
You won't like what happens if you do that.
Je suis pas sûre que ce soit surprise, là. Ah bah, de toute façon, j'ai pas le choix.
Fine.
Moi non plus, Kage, moi non plus.
Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place.
Mon petit curseur, il est ensanglanté, du coup. Mais... Enfin, elle peut pas...
You cut into her flesh.
Oh, le bruit.
The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her
Mais elle a
arm.
pas mal.
Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit.
Écoute, Airdoc, je ne sais pas. Mais du coup, je l'ai supprimé. Mais... Oui, c'est vrai, d'ailleurs. Pourquoi on a fait genre de ce côté-là? Après, on sait pas comment étaient les chaînes. Bah si, on sait comment étaient les chaînes, vu que là, c'est clairement... Bref.
She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal.
C'est vrai qu'elle a même pas...
No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground. How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Mais, elle est tarée?
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
Mais elle a une voix trop mignonne, mais elle est tarée.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't just let her escape into the world.
Ça veut dire quoi ça, monsieur le narrateur?
As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade.
Attends, il prend le contrôle de notre corps là?
Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
Mais non, c'est comme ça qu'elle devient méchante.
What are you doing?
Non, moi je le préviens. Hein.
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect.
Mais laisse-moi mon corps.
Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive.
Non, non, mais non.
The blade. Move the blade. As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands. What are you doing?
Elle va nous buter avec un grand sourire démoniaque sur la figure.
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
Elle va nous buter.
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony. But you aren't dead yet.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
Oh.
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake.
On se sacrifie pour
For
elle.
her sake. Don't
En
you
même temps,
start
j'ai
pretending that
pas envie de la
dying a
tuer non plus.
painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone. Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way into your body.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Mais sinon, genre, juste attache-moi les mains, je sais pas, mais me poignarde pas à mort, meuf.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she? Apparently not, though it doesn't matter how sloppy her knife work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you bleed out.
I'm so sorry.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks.
Oh, salut Game Tammy, ça fait longtemps. Mais en vrai, là, elle a l'air vraiment désolée pour nous, non? Peut-être que du coup, si on meurt et qu'on revient et qu'elle se souvient de nous, ce sera bon signe.
It can't just end like this, right? Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice. It's over.
La pauvre.
Everything goes dark, and you die.
Bon, ça fait que 3 fois qu'on meurt, du coup.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Bah écoute, Gata, ça va, ça va. J'ai essayé de me remotiver à reprendre, et puis vu qu'on m'a offert ce jeu, je me suis dit pourquoi pas. Mais j'avoue que pour l'instant, il est extrêmement bizarre. Mais oui, effectivement, Isran, c'est pas le même chapitre 2. Tout à l'heure, on avait chapitre 2, la tour, et là, c'est la demoiselle. Mais du coup...
You're here to slay her.
Non. Voilà, je peux lui dire ok, no.
Oh, don't you start grandstanding about morals.
De toute façon,
The
maintenant,
fate
j'aime
of
pas
the
le
world
narrateur.
is at risk
Voilà.
right now, and the life of a mere princess shouldn't stop you from saving us all.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. Yes, he didn't approve of us last
Oh.
time, did he? If we're going to save our beloved, we'll have to be sneaky about it.
On a une nouvelle voix. Tout à l'heure, on avait le broken, et maintenant...
Our beloved? Yes, you'll have to be very sneaky about your intentions if you're going to try and save the princess. Ah, so all of the cards are on the table. Then you should know that we and the princess are in love, and the four of us will be foiling any and all assassination attempts you've got in the works.
Merci, Héro, pour la traduction.
We'll see about that. Whatever you do, just be sure to ignore him specifically. It sounds like he's the sort who'd sacrifice the whole world for a peck on the cheek. What can I say? A world without love is a world that isn't worth saving.
Ah. Non, bah... En fait... La première fois, on avait tué... Enfin, on avait essayé de tuer la princesse. Elle nous avait bolos. Et du coup, elle nous en voulait la deuxième fois parce qu'elle se souvenait de nous. Mais elle avait power-up. Mais là, on l'a sauvée. Donc c'est improbable qu'elle soit toujours dans la cabine et qu'elle se souvienne de nous.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat,
Oui, bon,
and
ça on
she will
sait.
do everything in her power.
We already told you we're not playing along with your little game. It's your lies that can't be trusted. Her beauty is the only thing in the world we can believe in.
Oui, bon, il est un peu trop amoureux quand même, si je puis me permettre. Hein.
I think we've already been over this. I'm pretty sure he just likes the sound of his own voice.
C'est-à-dire qu'on a eu le droit au dépressif la première fois.
I do, but I also speak from the heart. My passions are too great to be stifled. They must be expressed. Sure, yeah, your passions are strong and all, but not everyone needs to hear them. Some things are better kept quiet.
Mais n'empêche que si elle était vraiment méchante, elle pleurerait pas pour notre mort. Ou alors faut un niveau d'acting. Sauf que si on va mourir, y a pas besoin de cet acting-là.
Don't pay their bickering any mind. Focus on the task ahead. The interior of the cabin is clean and elegant, its stone walls draped in fine-threaded tapestries, a prison befitting a royal prisoner. The only furniture of note is an ornate wooden table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Il y a encore le miroir. Oui, tout à l'heure, on a regardé le miroir, il se passait rien. Mais c'est peut-être ça qui a déclenché notre fin, mais... Ah, j'ai envie de dire, non, on fonce et on va voir comment elle va. Tant pis pour le miroir.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an intricate stairwell. Gold-trimmed carpet glimmers in the light of the torches positioned along the walls. But it's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. A soft voice carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
Elle est encore
Her
enfermée.
voice, it's somehow even more beautiful than last time. I can hear wedding bells already. I've held my tongue till now, but you're taking this a little too far. We barely even know the princess. We can still do right by her without all this over-the-top fawning.
Ouais, le miroir a disparu quand on a ouvert la porte.
Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just remember that her charms are all part of the manipulation. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall.
Donc elle a changé, mais elle est quand même pas en mode démoniaque, et par contre la chaîne est plus petite au niveau de son poignet.
My love, we're here to rescue you from your unjust and foul imprisonment.
You know she can't hear you, right?
She may not be able to hear my words, but surely she can hear my spirit.
Oh, your spirit's plenty loud, all right.
It's you, my dashing hero. I was so worried you wouldn't come back.
Donc elle se souvient de moi. Mais comment elle est revenue enfermée?
Did you hear that? She said we're dashing.
And she called us a hero. Flattery really goes a long way with the two of you, doesn't it? Waiting for you to come back. I didn't want to believe your ravings back in the woods, but this is next to incontrovertible evidence. You've been here before.
Ouais.
That's right, villain, and you killed us.
Aussi oui.
Well, she killed us.
Ouais, mais à cause de lui.
Only because he made us try and kill her.
Voilà.
It was self-defense. Our beloved's hands remain unstained by cruelty.
Je crois que si je suis d'accord avec le frappé d'amour, c'est peut-être pas une bonne nouvelle.
And you've died before. So an entire world has been damned to oblivion. I'd really hoped I'd be the first, but what's done is done. What matters is you have a chance to do it right this time. We damned a whole world, but everything reset. Nothing resets, you're just somewhere else. And you can't keep hopping between worlds forever, especially not without leaving a trail of incomprehensible devastation behind you. This is horrible.
Horrible for you, maybe, but we've been given another opportunity to sweep her off her feet and treat her like the lady she is.
Ouais.
Now, hold on. If she actually ended a world, are you sure we want to do this? Are you sure we want to rescue her?
On n'a pas de preuve qu'elle a...
We never saw a world end.
Ouais.
And now I'm even more certain that we must chase our heroic and romantic destiny than I've ever been. I shan't let anyone convince us otherwise.
Are you listening to him? He's lost it. Don't let him distract you. Just do your job.
Si elle est sympa, peut-être qu'elle va pouvoir nous répondre maintenant. Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé entre notre mort et maintenant? Voilà. Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé après que je sois mort?
You died, and now we're talking.
Quoi? Mais... Non, faut pas que je lui dise qu'elle a mis fin au monde. Le problème, c'est que la dernière fois, après, ça lui a donné des idées. Peut-être que je peux parler du narrateur. De toute façon, elle l'a senti la dernière fois.
If another version of me was pushed to such drastic action, it was for good reason.
That's okay. You were just doing your best, and that's all that matters.
Elle est tellement différente.
She took that in stride. To a surprising extent. An almost unsettling extent, actually.
That's because she's perfect.
Do you think she has someone like him telling her what to do? She doesn't. There's no one else like me.
I think he's right, because I like it better if she doesn't have some horrid little voice like him, always trying to drive her to violence.
On va tenter la deuxième. En fait, j'ai envie de lui poser la troisième question, mais j'ai pas envie de lui parler de la fin du monde. Du coup, juste, est-ce que je vais devoir encore la couper?
I'm okay with whatever you come up with. You can cut my arm off again.
Ah.
We won't be laying a finger on her perfect wrists, and indeed, we won't even have to. Do you see how dainty her hands are? We'll be able to slip her right out with no harm done.
What? No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just slip her hand through the chains.
En vrai, je crois que ça marche, non? Y a pas un truc comme ça où on peut se déboîter le pouce? Et du coup, on peut enlever des...
Why are you two arguing over the logistics of slipping her hand out of her shackles? She just said she'd be okay with any idea we came up with. Am I the only one here who thinks that's weird?
She didn't care last time. Why should she care this time? That's our stoic, smiling angel.
Bah, ouais, c'est vrai. Après, ça devait pas être si serré. Ouais, je sais pas en fait si c'est serré que ça ou pas. Et effectivement, c'est un peu bizarre qu'elle se fiche de comment on la libère, mais je préfère cette version d'elle.
No, you're right. It's extremely bizarre behavior and further evidence that she's a monster who's not to be trusted. So go ahead and slay her.
De toute façon, j'ai pas le truc, donc on va tenter. Je vais quand même lui poser la première question.
I'm sorry. Didn't you want me to?
Elle est trop mimi.
Did we?
Non, on voulait pas.
We warned her of the cruel forces seizing our body. That's practically telling her to kill us. She is our beloved, and she made the choice to free us of our misery, to show us mercy and make the best decision for everyone.
Pas complètement faux, mais...
She made the best decision for her. Don't be so quick to assign kindness. You're just opening yourself up to manipulation.
Bon, allez, on la sauve.
No. I can't
Ah, bah voilà, le
let you
narrateur
do that. If you
encore.
take another step towards the princess, I'll...
You'll what? Take over our body and force us to try and kill her?
I would if you had a weapon.
Ah, shit.
Not on my watch, villain. My passions contain titanic depths, and if you try anything that might harm our dearest, I will end our life without a second thought.
You wouldn't.
Pas de soucis, Gata, t'inquiète, salut.
I would.
I'd listen to him if I were you. He has a lot of strong feelings. And doesn't the world end if we don't stop her? You approach the
suffit.
princess and gingerly slide her hand from her bindings. That shouldn't have worked. I'll be damned. We're doomed.
Mais...
I can't believe it. But I guess I have to.
Comment?
I told you. There's no life more worth living than that of a true believer.
I'm free, and you're not trying to kill me this time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
De rien?
The princess jumps up and smothers you in a joyful embrace. Ugh. If only you had a weapon, one slip of the wrist and your pristine blade would be buried in her back and everyone out there would be saved. Luckily for Mr. Romance, we don't have a weapon.
Après, s'il y avait Heureuse avec nous, on pourra l'empêcher de mettre fin au monde.
Who needs a weapon when we have the power of love on our side?
Putain.
What do we do now?
Qu'est-ce qu'elle veut faire?
Let me guess. End the world?
Spoken with the rank cynicism of someone who has never felt love in his heart.
En fait, cette tête là trop mimi et tout, à tout moment, j'ai... Comment dire? Genre, l'impression que elle va changer du tout au tout, faire un sourire démoniaque et dire te tuer. C'est terrible.
I don't actually know. Nobody's ever asked me what I wanted before.
She doesn't even know what she wants. You may have had her all wrong. What if this whole thing is just a misunderstanding? What if she doesn't want to end the world? gullible. Is the only thing you've ever doubted the actual truth?
C'est pas faux, Isran. Mais elle a pas l'air de vouloir faire quoi que ce soit, donc...
I think I want to leave. And I think...
The princess closes her eyes in deep reflection. And then she shrugs.
I don't know. What do you want to do?
Non, je lui parlerai toujours pas de la fin du monde, hein. J'ai envie d'insister, mais...
I just want to make you happy.
She can't just want to make us happy.
Oh oh.
It makes sense to me. That's all I want for her, so of course she'd want the same for us.
On est d'accord que la musique a changé, là. Ouais, on est d'accord, hein. J'ai envie d'insister, mais... Mais qu'est-ce qui, toi, te rendrait heureuse? C'est mignon, un peu.
I just want to make you happy.
Elle a encore changé, là.
Is she broken? What's going on? What's going on is she's lying to you, only she isn't a good liar. Are you starting to trust me now?
Ouais, j'ai l'impression qu'elle est... Mais du coup, j'ai envie de continuer à lui demander. On peut pas baser tout son truc sur me rendre heureux, après tout, hein.
Okay, if
Oh,
that's
what?
what makes you happy.
This isn't right. I don't know what's going on, but this isn't right.
I fail to see the problem here. She's just sweet on us. You don't have to act like it's a big deal.
J'ai toujours pas envie de lui dire pour la fin du monde, mais... Ça, dire j'ai envie que tu me rendes... Que tu ne me rendes pas heureux, quoi. J'ai peur que derrière elle fasse OK, puis elle nous étrangle à mort. Allez, on insiste encore.
Okay, I'll find something else to want if that makes you happy.
Mais elle est complètement cassée, ma parole.
Is it just me, or does it feel like we're alone right now? Like we're the only ones here?
Oh oh. Merde. Je n'aurai plus de chance de poser une autre question. Il est l'heure pour moi de partir. Ouais, il y a eu le succès. J'ai retrouvé mes souvenirs.
No. She was our perfect match. She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And is that a mirror? Why is it here? Why now?
Oh, la première réponse, elle est horrible. Mais bien sûr que vous avez peur. C'est la fin pour vous, mais pas pour moi.
But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything.
Yes, I fear that we won't like what we'll see. What if we just sit here and preen for a while? That can't hurt, right?
Ouais. Je vous verrai la prochaine fois.
Okay. If you say so.
She'll be there waiting for us. I just know it.
Je pense qu'effectivement, on a trouvé un nouveau fragment. on approche le miroir. Le miroir, il fait toujours partir, mais on a besoin de voir ce qu'il y a. Nous revoilà. Quoi? Comment ça? Mais comment ça, genre on a grandi ou quoi?
Flickering lights in empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before.
Ben, j'ai regardé Istran, mais j'en ai aucune idée, j'arrivais pas à savoir.
Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again.
Mais j'ai pas envie qu'il m'efface les souvenirs. À quel point elle a
Is a
changé.
child the same as an infant? I am an unbroken pattern, but every vessel gives fresh perspectives and carves new avenues of expression. I am different, but I am the same.
Ouais, elle est toujours aussi vague qu'avant. Hein. Bah voilà. Que je peux pas juste avoir une réponse
I'm sorry.
claire.
Words are difficult for me. They never fully weave what I wish to say. If you do not like my answers, then you need not ask me questions.
J'ai voulu faire une blague horrible du coup.
The vessels you choose to bring me carry far more meaning than anything words could say in the spaces between.
Comment ça qu'on a choisi de lui apporter? Il y a tellement de possibilités. Je poserais bien la question sur le vaisselle. J'ai toujours pas la traduction, c'est terrible. Spectacle? Mais ouais, je sais que ça choisit enfin, ça construit la princesse qui l'absorbe, mais genre, je lui apporte pas vraiment. Enfin, à aucun moment je lui ai apporté quoi que ce soit, c'est plus... À un moment, il y a une fin qui s'impose à moi un peu. Est-ce qu'il a des pensées de
This
son
one is
spectacle?
soft and delicate. You molded her to love you, and she'll make for a gentle heart. Do not mourn her. She has served her purpose.
Ah, il n'y a pas de souci, Kage, t'inquiète. Je comprends. À plus tard et bonne app du coup. Qu'est-ce qu'elle voudrait que je lui apporte la prochaine fois?
Gifts aren't what someone tells you to bring them.
Ouais, en gros, je choisis quoi.
My joy is in seeing what you choose. There are no wrong answers, and every perspective illuminates my shadows and shares new secrets. My preference is for you to show me what you would like me to see. I cannot know the ways I wish to grow, for I have yet to feel them. It is you who guides me down the thin trail of perspective and memory.
Ça se trouve, c'est ce truc-là hein, qui va provoquer la fin du monde. Hein. Du coup, peut-être qu'il faut que je le nourrisse qu'avec des trucs positifs. Mais ouais, j'ai l'impression que plus je lui en apporte, pire ce sera.
The vessels are shaped by memories of you, but their impulses are drawn to the edge of the long quiet. To them, you are a gate to something more, and any hurt you've caused them is understood as a fair price for freedom. But they are only thoughts and perspectives. They are not me. The wounds they've suffered carve texture around my heart. Without them, I would be as I was before. I would be alone and without sensation. I could not feel the joy of having you by my side, for I would not know your absence.
Bah en fait, je sais pas comment cette entité marche, mais j'ai peur que si je lui ramène des réceptacles qui sont que genre vénères, elles finissent comme ça. Du coup, je me dis que peut-être qu'il faut juste que genre je fasse que sauver la princesse de plein de manières différentes. Mais en même temps, il a l'air assez détaché de ce que je lui ramène, du coup.
Those paths lead to worlds you've already seen, and to perspectives I have already made my own.
Ah,
They are useless to us
je
now.
peux pas de toute façon refaire les mêmes
Inaccessible.
choix.
The only paths of value are those that are yet untread.
J'avais pas testé, mais du coup, ok. Destroy, j'aime pas trop cette option en vrai. hein. Et je vois pas comment je pourrais l'attaquer. Comment ça se passe de
Eyes
changer?
close in reflection. Perspectives meld together, and the breadth of my experience stretches to new corners. There are contradictions, conflicts in my nature, and there are familiarities that bind everything together. It feels correct. This is what I need to be. This is the only path forward.
Mhm. Ouais, c'est un peu ça, Kéo. Puis même, genre, elle fait entité un peu supérieure, quoi. Enfin, j'ai pas envie de go back non plus, mais j'ai l'impression que j'ai pas trop le choix, donc.
I will long for your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
Oh, waouh. Oh, à chaque fois, là, c'est violent.
You're on a path. You're here to slay her.
Oui, oui, bla bla bla. Ou alors je la laisse toute seule. Les mains, elles sont disposées différemment que la dernière fois, mais le réceptacle est différent aussi. Du coup, j'arrive pas à savoir si c'est genre lié au réceptacle ou lié à l'entité elle-même. Mais vous savez quoi? Je me casse.
Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
Nope. Ouais, ça me va. Nope.
Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin.
On est d'accord que c'est exactement le même chemin, mais juste en miroir là.
Good. What we're being asked to do here is wrong. Better to wash our hands of this whole situation than to take part in it. Ignore that annoying little voice, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
En vrai, la princesse, elle peut pas nous détester personnellement si on lui a rien fait.
That's strange.
Ah.
It looks like this path
Forcément.
also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all.
Nope, je pars encore.
You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies. Forever.
Ouais, mais si tout le monde meurt sans que je sois tuée directement par la princesse, je verrai la fin du monde. Et donc je comprendrai pourquoi il y a une fin du monde. Voilà, il ne mourra pas émotionnellement.
Stakes and consequences aren't emotional blackmail. They're facts of life, and if you had an ounce of maturity, you'd understand that.
Non, moi c'est le narrateur, il me manipule.
But fine, you turn around and trek back down the path you came.
Voilà, je me casse.
Oh, would you look at that?
Yes.
You're at the cabin again. Now, I'm not normally one for superstition or astrology, but I have to say, it seems like the universe itself is doing its best to bring you to your fated confrontation with the princess.
Est-ce que je vais être plus têtu qu'un narrateur? Voilà, je vais essayer d'être plus têtu, et non, je n'irai pas dans cette cabine.
There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much everyone who's ever lived, as well as for everyone who ever will. And here we go. As you trudge into the woods, something strange starts to happen.
On la voit en fond.
At first, it's little flickers out of the corner of your eyes. Glimpses of familiar wooden structures through the leaves. But as you focus on your surroundings, you start to realize that those flickers weren't just a trick of light.
J'ai cassé le narrateur, je crois.
In every direction, there is a path and a cabin. And not just a cabin, the cabin. An infinite fractal of paths and cabins desperately trying to draw you back to where you need to be. Wait, what's going on?
C'est pas normal.
But you're too stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to shirk your responsibility because you care more about irritating me than you do about the fate of the world. You've doomed us all, you know that, right? But of course you do. Otherwise you wouldn't just wander off into the forest in search of certain death. You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly tromping through the wilderness. But it's not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters, because it isn't long before the world ends and everyone dies.
Mais comment?
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Y a un mur là à droite, non? Pas là avant.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Ah voilà, ces murs étaient pas là la dernière fois.
What are you talking about? I'm sure those walls have always been there. It makes sense if you think about it. If there weren't any walls in the woods, someone might have gotten lost.
Or, heaven forbid, someone other than you might have stumbled onto the princess. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
I don't know, I think it's more fun if he knows what we're thinking. He's like a captive audience. He might have walled off everything but the path to the cabin, but I'm sure there's plenty of other ways we can ruin his day.
Mais en fait, j'aime trop la troisième voix. J'ai toujours envie de faire ce qu'elle me dit.
If by ruining my day, you mean ruining everyone's day forever, then yes, I suppose there are plenty of ways you could pull that off. The world really did end last time, didn't it? We should be careful. For all we know, we just got lucky. The world hasn't ended yet, and you are never going to slay her with that attitude. Stuff those pathetic little voices to the back of your mind and stay focused on the task ahead.
Pitié qu'il y ait une option, s'asseoir sur place et ne plus bouger. Oh oui. Eh ben je bougerai pas.
You have already committed to my completion. You cannot go further astray.
Quoi? Quoi? Mais on vient de me gâcher mon... Mais... Triste. Oh, ok, je vais mentir du coup, hein.
You know I can tell when you're lying, right? Please take this seriously. I am begging you.
Non.
A warning
Oh, putain.
before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat. If we're stuck going in there, maybe we should believe her. Maybe she isn't a liar.
Moi, j'avoue que je ne sais pas, Isran. Mais moi, je trouve que le narrateur est plus un menteur que la princesse.
Ignore him. He's just being difficult for the sake of it. Let's keep an open mind. The cabin interior is
what the-
wrong. A confusing patchwork of many cabin interiors, all projected across what's almost the same space. But it's all shifted. An inch here, a foot there, such that the seams are never quite visible enough for the place to make any sense. The only furniture of note is a plain table, its legs all the wrong lengths, its material devoid of feature. Perched on that table is a pristine blade.
Pardon.
The blade is your implement.
Ouais, bla
You'll
bla
need
bla.
it if he wants us to take it. Maybe we should just leave it to collect dust, or better yet, grab it and throw it out the window. What good is a knife against a world-ending monstrosity anyway?
Oh, mais je l'aime trop cette troisième voix. Vraiment, je crois que je suis fan des troisièmes voix.
No, we're taking the knife. Have you seen this place? We have literally no idea what to expect and no idea what we're dealing with. I've already told you what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a princess. How many times do I have to explain this incredibly simple and straightforward premise? You can't just say that. Not when everything here is so wrong. Listen to me. My job is to describe facts as facts and to guide you through your job, which is to slay the princess and through that action, save the entire world. And if you're going to slay her, you cannot let fear creep into your heart.
Bla, bla.
You cannot lose yourself before you even get to her. Oh, ho, ho, ho. You've piqued my interest. What's going to happen if we lose ourselves? Nothing, because you're going to pull yourself together.
Oh, mais je l'aime cette
Just
troisième
ignore
voix.
the stressful geometry and stay calm. How? Even if we closed our eyes, you're constantly describing it to us. I'm not going to stop doing my job, so you're just going to have to get better at yours. And quickly, if you don't mind.
Mais du coup, si on avait grandi quand on avait vu le miroir, à chaque fois que l'entité se complète, on grandit.
Yes, take a deep breath. I'm all for getting under his skin, but we'll miss out on loads of fun if we shrivel up into a ball and go insane the first time we see something weird. What you're seeing here is obviously real. Just accept it and go with the flow. It really isn't hard.
Ah, tu penses que c'est ça? Parce que c'est vrai que j'avais pas vu beaucoup de différence à notre corps. Après, bon, c'est pas comme si on se voyait tous les
Ok.
5 matins.
Okay, I'm fine. Good. Now, whenever you're ready, we're all waiting for you to complete a very important task.
J'ai envie de voir ce que ça fait si on réapproche.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door.
Là,
What are you
ça, on
talking
connaît.
about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least
On connaît aussi. Et il se passe
reach
rien.
forward,
Non, parce que ouais,
rub
notre
your
main elle a
hand
pas changé.
against
Hein.
the cabin
Donc
wall.
ouais, c'est peut-être
I
plus
hope you know how
spirituel.
ridiculous you look right now, but there was a mirror
Même
a second
spirituellement,
ago,
je vois pas pourquoi on grandirait de tout ça.
and now it's gone. You know that taking the mirror away from us isn't going to change things, right? We'll find it again, and then we'll see whatever it is that you don't want us to see.
Non, j'ai quand même pas envie de prendre la lame.
The door
Oh,
to
wow.
the basement creaks open, revealing a web of branching staircases all built from unidentifiable materials. Nothing here seems to belong, and the closer you examine your surroundings, the more confused you get, your head throbbing with the effort of making sense of this place. None of the stairs even seem to go anywhere, let alone down. The air here has a sickening, almost sludge-like miasma to it, the kind of indiscernible quality that comes from the blending together of every scent there is at once. An odour that is simultaneously everything and yet the sum of it all coalescing into a thick, nauseating nothing.
Je sais même pas comment on va la trouver là, la princesse. Hein.
If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favour. Her voice, a disquieting collage of tone and personality, drags up the stairs.
Ah, du coup, on aurait le mélange de plein de princesses. Oh, fuck.
Hello? Hi. What are you doing here? Are you here to kill?
J'aurais peut-être dû prendre le couteau en fait.
No, no thank you. Oh, don't be such a baby. I don't want to do this. Let's just turn around and leave. This feels wrong. This feels like a trap. Like whatever we do, we're gonna die. We don't even have a weapon. But we already tried turning around and leaving, didn't we? And he threw up a wall. No way to go but forward. And whatever choice we make, whatever she is, we know one thing for sure. And what's that? That the fate of the world hinges on your success? There'll still be plenty of ways to ruin his day.
Vraiment, le but de la troisième voie, c'est pas de survivre, c'est pas de sauver la princesse, c'est de faire chier le narrateur. Toujours droite, moi je dis. Ah ouais, mais ils ont des descriptions différentes. Ouais, droite.
You step to the right. The path feels soft and reassuring against your feet. The stairs almost seem to cradle you as you make your way down, like they're guiding your heels from one step directly to the next. You barely have to extend any effort to descend, the stairway doing most of the work for you. You don't feel like there's any concern that you might slip or tumble or lose your way.
Je choisis les meilleurs escaliers du monde en fait.
But the further you go, the deeper you sink in. First, it's like a lovely plush carpet, your toes digging down and barely hitting any resistance at all. But soon enough, you're fighting just to keep your knees from sinking out of sight.
Peut-être pas les meilleurs du coup.
The softness threatens to swallow you whole, to wrest control of your body and surround you in a false ethereal bliss, pretending to save you from the cruelties of choice and consequence. It's slow going, but you manage to fight against the overwhelming urge to fall back into comfort and nothingness, the very struggle to continue forward consuming your every thought.
Ouais, peut-être pas les meilleurs escaliers du monde finalement.
You slowly lose sense of yourself the further you go. Time disappears, and you can feel yourself begin to untether. Physical sensations dull and then vanish, until the only things experienced are the endless repeating patterns and emotions of the journey, a continuous march forward to a destination long forgotten. Consumption and betrayal, skepticism and blind devotion, rivalry and submission, terror and longing, pain and unfamiliarity. And at the heart of it all, an emotion that can only be described as...
Are you okay?
What the
What the hell was that? What happened to us? I feel so strange. Like I'm fundamentally different, but also still the same person I was at the top of the stairs. Oh well, that was a trip, but now it's over. Time to get back to our old devilish ways. The princess, eyes bright but otherwise shrouded in darkness, watches you impatiently from the other side of the basement. Don't forget why you're here. And why are we here again? In case you weren't listening, I'm afraid I lost myself on the way down.
Elle a de nouveau le gros bracelet.
You're here to... He's just being an ass, we remember. Though I'm still not sure if we should trust you. Let's talk to her for a bit, try and get our bearings. She seems normal.
C'est vrai, les barreaux moins, mais elle... On va dire, je suis désolée, je me suis pas rendu compte que j'étais là.
That's okay. Sometimes I forget where I am too.
The shadows recede, revealing the princess's face. She's so warm and friendly. It's deception. Don't buy into it.
How strange. So, why are you here?
What?
As the princess speaks again, it's almost as if she fractures. Where there was once just one of her, there is now another. We can do that? I don't like this. It's those cabins all over again. Can we put her back? You said you'd been here before, right? What exactly happened last time?
T'as fait n'importe quoi, le narrateur. La dernière fois, t'as fait pop des cabines partout.
Does it matter? Yes, it matters. But I'm not going to waste any more time prying out details if you're going to be so irritating about it. It seems to me like you saw something you weren't supposed to have seen. If only you'd listened to whatever words of wisdom you were given in that other reality. But what's done is done, isn't it? Whatever you saw last time, unsee it. Whatever thoughts weaseled their way into your head, unthink them. If it's not already too late. You have a job to do here and you need to do it now. Oh, new plan. Let's see if we can make even more of her.
J'aime bien ce plan, mais c'était pas prévu. Bon, je vais pas lui dire que voilà. Je vais lui demander si elle sait pourquoi elle est là.
I don't know why I'm here, but there has to be a reason, right? You don't just lock a princess away in a place like this without a reason. I wish I knew what it was. But you know, right? You have to know. You're the only other person I've ever seen, or at least the only one I can remember. Don't give me false hope. Please just end this already. One way or another, just do it.
I don't think we're going to be able to put her back.
Non, j'ai l'impression qu'on fait pire.
Kind of hurts to think about it, doesn't it? It's like everything we say just multiplies her.
Ouais.
It certainly looks that way, so please, for the love of everything, stop asking her questions and stop stalling. You're obviously just making things worse.
Pourquoi je... Ah. Je suis obligée de faire les 3 choix d'un coup. Peut-être que je peux avoir son nom? Parce que... Peut-être que ça me donnera un 4e choix.
You can call me Princess, if you'd like.
Un vrai nom?
Princess. It doesn't matter. I've been down here for so long. What's the point of a name if there's no one around to use it?
None of them have names. How astute. I told you she was untrustworthy.
Ok, il n'y en a pas une de plus. Je vais leur demander si elles connaissent la sensation des escaliers.
I don't know what happened to you, but you look like you're in one piece now. But I understand. Sometimes I feel like I'm being pulled apart too. It's so terrifying down here. But at least now you're not alone. And I'm not alone either. Oh, I thought they would send something better to deal with me. If the stairs managed to chew you up,
I will devour you.
I don't remember what it was like before I was in this place. Why would I know what happened to you? We're probably stuck down here forever, aren't we? There's no way out, and barely a way in.
Alors, j'ai pas une exprès de plus. Ah, une... J'ai envie de tout tenter à la fois. J'ai l'impression qu'on on a de plus en plus la méchante, du coup... Allez, je tente tout à la fois.
Wait, that's not right. Go on. You take a step forward. Your foot lands, but it lands different. You experience a firm footfall, a gentle tread, a confident stride. You can feel yourself rupture. The room spins, your perception multiplying in a sickening kaleidoscope as your very self is pulled in incomprehensibly many directions. You find the blade suddenly in your hands. All at once you use it to strike at her bindings as you remain upstairs and slay her and leave her to languish alone. Is this what the end of the world looks like? What an unbearable mess.
Ouais.
But this... We can't... Do you not have anything witty to say? I could use a good bit of wit right now. No, I don't, because this isn't fun. How are we supposed to have fun if everything is happening at the same time? It's the same as nothing happening, and nothing is excruciating. Luckily for all of us, nothing and everything doesn't go on forever. The world and the princess collapse in on themselves before it all falls apart.
Oh, quelle horreur, on a créé une princesse horrible.
I think he's gone. We were never going to salvage this, were we?
What happened to us? What are we? There are parts of us that are dead, and others, they just don't fit. They just don't fit.
Oh, quelle horreur, je suis désolée.
We can feel them moving around in spaces they don't belong. It's all so uncomfortable. Did you do this? Did we do this? Can you pull us back apart? Can you fix us?
We should help her. I think we did this.
Je sais pas, mais quelle horreur.
Surprisingly sincere. I didn't actually think our actions had consequences.
Pas ce type de conséquences en tout cas, mais...
It's a little late for regret, isn't it?
Please.
Bah, je vais faire de mon mieux. Ah. Je suppose que je vais pas faire grand chose. Je ne saurais jamais si elle a entendu ma réponse. Elle est partie.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
Je veux pas leur parler, hein. On va aller droit au but.
This doesn't feel right. It feels different. Yeah, don't look at it. I don't like that thing.
Elles sont de nouveau parties. Ah, là, je crois que je suis clairement différent par contre, hein. Donc c'était pas que spirituel en fait. Parce que là... Mais je sais quoi, je suis un démon? Désolée, mais il y a des ailes là. Bah, il me semble qu'il y avait un truc un peu bizarre la dernière fois, mais là... J'ai l'impression que plus je lui apporte des parties d'elle, plus je perds des parties de moi.
I am a growing chorus of contradiction, a mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new, and to look away is to reshape them yet again. All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same. It changes me, but it doesn't make me worse, nor does it make me care for you any less. Does it make you worse? Do you resent me?
J'avoue que là j'ai un peu envie de l'attaquer parce que si à chaque fois que je lui apporte un nouveau réceptacle, je change, je suis pas sûre de vouloir changer. Moi j'ai juste envie que ça s'arrête.
It will, in time, but you still have a ways to go before we are done. Know that I hold no malice for you.
Je crois que je vais essayer de l'attaquer. Je vais l'attaquer. Allez, go. Ah, il se passe rien.
My roots burrow in an ocean beyond your sight. We cannot harm each other as we are now.
Flûte. Qu'est-ce qui arrive au monde qu'on laisse derrière
My
nous?
perspectives are shadowed. You have seen what I have seen, just as I have seen what you have seen. The angles of my vantage do not offer me hidden truths, and my attention is turned inward, except when you are here with me. Perhaps this will change when our work is done. And yet my waters flow and my streets bustle. There are no words that can describe me into non-existence. There is no logic that can bind my multitudes. I am everything that you have known me to be, but I am also none of it.
Elle me fait un peu penser aux anges, enfin les représentations des anges avec plein d'yeux ou des trucs comme ça, un peu abstraites et tout, mais juste là, plein de mains. Je veux dire que je suis prête à
I will be
aller...
here when it is time for us to meet again.
Voilà. On va recommencer, hein.
You're on a path in the you're here to slay her.
Et je pense que je vais m'arrêter là pour cette fois, même si je sais pas... Genre... combien de temps le jeu dure, mais... Ah, j'ai plus le droit de retourner en arrière. Du coup, ouais, je pense que je vais juste m'arrêter là. Et je sais pas encore quel deuxième jour je stream. J'hésite entre le vendredi et le samedi soir. Mais je pense que je ferai comme ce que je faisais avant, c'est-à-dire un jeu. Ça, ceux qui sont dispo que les lundis.